This is just one video. I got another one I want to show you guys as well. But look at how they trapping her like this. Pushing her. Throwing her off. Just crazy, man.
Caitlin Clark just took a hit so dirty, it didn't belong on a basketball court. It belonged in a WWE ring. We're talking full court rage foul, no defense, just vibes and violence. The footage shows her getting blindsided harder than a missed backcourt screen, and trust us, this wasn't a box out gone wrong. Someone brought beef to the paint and left sportsmanship in the locker room. Is this a flagrant 2 or straight up assault? Either way, this drama's going into overtime.
Your leg is messed up. Her leg is bothering her enough that she has told the team she can't play. She can't go. She's not at full strength. She's not even close to full strength because someone like Caitlin Clark would not sit out just to sit out. A person like Caitlin Clark is ready to ball at all times. I stand pat on what I said last night in the live and in my videos the last couple days that Caitlin Clark's injury absolutely has something to do with what happened in the preseason. I will stand on that 100%. I don't care if it's the opposite leg or the same leg. It is the same leg.
It's official. The WNBA just speed ran its own credibility straight into a flaming dumpster. And the only surprise is that it didn't bring marshmallows. Caitlin Clark, America's three-point sweetheart and walking ratings boost, just got mugged in broad daylight on the court. And the league decided to whistle a happy tune and pretend it was a casual Tuesday.
Stephanie White ended up just stepping up and saying, what happened, the communication between the two, how they came about as far as sitting her out these 2 weeks. And, just basically going over how competitive Caitlin is and how she wants to play. But, they're going to hold her back like they did Sophie Cunningham.
Oh, but it gets better, because this wasn't just a random elbow gone wrong or a clumsy defensive hiccup. No, this was choreographed chaos. Think Broadway musical, except with cheap fouls, rage, and absolutely no jazz hands. From the commissioner's corner office down to the referees, who apparently left their eyeballs at home, the entire operation looked less like a professional league and more like an open mic night for petty grievances.
Clark, you're going to take one for the team, man. I've been thinking that you may have to take one for the team. Because at the end of the day, you ain't getting no kind of respect whatsoever from the media. You know what I'm saying? Only real fans of Clark be having her back. But for most part, the media downplay her. Monica McNutt and all of them, let's be real. The WNBA throws shade on her. The basketball players throw shade on her. Everybody, every way they can, Nike's throwing shade at her. I feel like they're not promoting her, that's for sure.
Let's be clear. Caitlin didn't just get fouled, she got targeted. As in GPS-locked, heat-seeking missile-style targeted. If this were football, there'd be a helmet-to-helmet flag, a fine, and probably a congressional hearing. Instead, the WNBA's officials sipped their Gatorade, watched the carnage, and possibly checked their fantasy football scores mid-splay. Nothing to see here, folks, just the league's biggest star being used as a tackling dummy for clout-chasing benchwarmers.
Will this be the wake-up call the WNBA needs? Caitlin Clark is out for at least 2 weeks. Now, we are going to see what you guys, not just Indiana Fever, we're going to see what type of numbers this league can turn over without her. I was real upset when I first got the news, man. I was real upset when I first got the news. Then I thought about it. And maybe this is...
And where was the commissioner during this? Presumably somewhere busy polishing a press release that says, "We support women in sports," while simultaneously overseeing a league where one of the most talented women in sports gets jumped like she owed someone lunch money. It's almost poetic in its hypocrisy, like writing a love letter while torching the recipient's house.
I'm going to talk about this play. The person who really should get all the blame is Kathy Engelberg. Yes, this is Kathy Engelberg's doing. You know why? Because she has incompetent referees.
Now, people are calling for a boycott, and honestly, how is that even a question? At this point, boycotting the WNBA isn't just a protest, it's a public service. Imagine paying top dollar to watch Caitlin Clark cook defenders, only to get instead a live-action reenactment of Mean Girls. but everyone's wearing sneakers and no one's getting called for a flagrant foul. And you can practically hear the excuses brewing already. The game's physical. It's part of the sport. Things get heated, please. There's physical, and then there's let's take out the girl who's making us all look like extras in her highlight reel physical. This wasn't heat of the moment. This was ice-cold, premeditated nonsense, wrapped in a sweaty jersey and endorsed by a league that apparently couldn't referee a game of tag. What's next? Handing out steel chairs at tip-off. Maybe a new halftime show where players reenact Fight Club? Because at this point, Caitlin's not playing basketball. She's surviving the Hunger Games, and the only real rule is that the referees must not, under any circumstances, get involved. Wouldn't want to disrupt the chaos with something as silly as accountability.
To me, challenges cannot take that long. It ruins the flow of the game. I get it. It's early in the year. The refs want to make the right call. We can't sit there for 2.5, 3 minutes and on an obvious hit out of bounds off of them and still not know the call.
And let's talk about those referees. These are the same professionals who can spot a toenail over the line but suddenly develop full-blown amnesia when someone gets bodied like it's Game of Thrones. If they were any more checked out, they'd be sipping pina coladas on a beach while Caitlin limped past them clutching her ankle. It's not just incompetence. No, this feels deliberate. A coordinated effort to humble the one person actually putting the WNBA on the map. And why? Because she's good? Because she's popular? Because she makes everyone else look like they're playing with ankle weights? Oh no, the horror. Someone's actually drawing fans to the sport. Quick, let's shove her into a wall and pretend it's defense. Meanwhile, the ticket prices for her games are cratering faster than the refs' reputations. The moment she went down, so did the value of every seat in the house. You could probably score courtside now for the price of a vending machine snack. And guess what? The WNBA still won't care, as long as the NBA keeps writing those sweet, sweet subsidy checks. Why fix the problem when you can just patch it with someone else's money?
So as you can see after the game, Caitlin Clark and Sophie are both running up to the referee here. They are both so upset, and the referee is just walking away from them. He won't even look at them in the face. He keeps turning. Like, Sophie even went up at one point and is like tapping on his arm. He would not even look at them.
And here's the real kicker. Caitlin Clark's livelihood is now hanging in the balance, all because a group of glorified gym class bullies decided they didn't like the way she played. She wasn't showboating. She wasn't talking trash. She was simply better. And for that, she got the kind of on-court welcome usually reserved for supervillains. You'd think she slapped someone's mom the way they came after her. You know what would solve this? A good old-fashioned lawsuit. Actually, make that several. Sue the league, sue the refs union, sue the individuals who thought sportsmanship meant throwing hands. Heck, sue the stadium for providing a floor hard enough to land on. Leave no stone unlitigated. Because if they're going to treat her like an enemy, she might as well come back with lawyers instead of layups. And yet, even with the footage going viral, the league's PR team is probably out there drafting a statement about reviewing internal processes while their offices are metaphorically on fire. Caitlin Clark is trending, but not because of her jaw-dropping plays or record-breaking stats. No, she's trending because someone tried to rearrange her kneecaps in front of a live audience and got away with it.
Y'all gotta see this. So Brittany Griner has just been banned from the WNBA after this situation with Caitlin Clark is going viral, where she made some extremely racist remarks from the bench after getting fouled out by Caitlin Clark. I mean, this is just insane. Just watch this video, bro.
The ticky-tack fouls that we were talking about earlier today.
I don't know if you guys can read lips as good as I can, but we all know what she said right there. I mean, she's talking about her skin color. I mean, this is just insane. There's no place for this in sports. And now Brittany Griner is being banned from the WNBA.
Imagine LeBron getting bulldozed mid-driver and the NBA tweeting, "We value player safety." There'd be riots, lawsuits, and probably a 4-part Netflix documentary. But in the WNBA, business as usual. Just another day of letting vendettas play out on hardwood. Let's not forget, this isn't just about one incident. This is about a culture that allowed it. A league where jealousy gets more minutes than the star player. Where protecting the brand apparently means letting it self-destruct in real time. Where the refs are either too scared, too biased, or too distracted to enforce the basic rules of basketball. You know, like, don't body slam the MVP. The question now isn't will this happen again, it's how soon. Because if they got away with it once, they'll do it again and again, until there's nothing left but injured stars, plummeting attendance, and a commissioner giving heartfelt speeches about learning moments.
So let me get this straight. LeBron James comes out and says Caitlin Clark was balling out. LeBron James, one of the greatest basketball players to ever touch basketball, has achieved everything in his career that he's wanted to achieve. Either 1, 2, or 3 favorite player of all time for most people. He comes out and says Caitlin Clark had a great game. And there are black women telling him in the comments he hates black women.
At this point, firing the commissioner and every referee involved isn't a harsh reaction. It's the bare minimum. They couldn't protect their biggest draw. They couldn't enforce the rules. They couldn't even pretend to be neutral. This isn't a league, it's a circus. And unfortunately, Caitlin Clark just found herself cast as the punching bag. The real irony? Without her, the league sinks faster than a brick shot from half court. She is the ratings. She is the merch. She's the reason people who haven't watched a WNBA game in years suddenly know what pick and roll means. And instead of building around her, they let her get steamrolled while their officials played peekaboo. So go ahead, keep pretending this isn't a problem. Keep letting the haters foul her like it's a contact sport remix. Keep betting that the NBA will keep footing the bill. But just remember, every ticket unsold, every viewer who tunes out, every parent who says maybe my daughter shouldn't play in this league is a brick in the wall you're building between success and self-sabotage. Because here's the truth. The WNBA had a moment, a real golden, glittering moment, and it punted that moment out of bounds with the grace of a clumsy toddler. All it had to do was protect its star. Not pamper, not favor, just protect. Make sure she doesn't leave the arena needing crutches and a lawyer.
So you want to silence the truth and just keep it going. Why don't you just fix the referee problem? Let's not forget you had a problem in the finals last year. Minnesota feels like they were robbed. Let's not forget that. Either get new referees or retrain the ones you have. It doesn't even make no sense why this is even an issue. You got all kind of people watching. See, that's what the problem is right now.
Instead, it let her be hunted by players who couldn't beat her skills, so they tried to beat her body, and no one stopped them. So if the commissioner's looking for advice, here's a start. Less TED Talks, more action. Less growing the game, more stop the public assaults. Because right now, the only thing growing is the list of reasons fans are walking away. Caitlin Clark didn't ask to be the savior of the league, but the least the league could have done was not treat her like a piñata with a ponytail. But sure, WNBA. Keep pretending it's fine. Just know that while your integrity limps off the court, so do your ticket sales. And Caitlin? She'll be fine. Because stars shine, even through the smoke. But you're about to learn the hard way that when you mess with the player, you also mess with the people who came to watch her. And those people are pissed. Good luck with that. And speaking of pissed off fans, let's take a moment to appreciate just how swiftly public opinion flipped from, finally, women's basketball is getting the attention it deserves, to burn it all down and start over with a rec league of middle schoolers who know what a foul is. You know you've messed up when lifelong supporters of women's sports are now rooting for Caitlin Clark to become a golf influencer just to escape the landmine of bruised egos and missed calls that is.
When you allow this kind of behavior in your league, someone is bound to get hurt eventually. The WNBA needs to protect its players. Caitlin Clark deserves better. Now, the hits have finally caught up with Caitlin Clark, and I believe that could be the case, man.
And oh, the defenders. The WNBA's social media army trying to paint this whole debacle as competitive spirit is the kind of delusion you only get after 5 consecutive seasons of irrelevance. It's like watching someone insist their karaoke rendition of Whitney Houston was Grammy-worthy. Honey, no. Caitlin wasn't competed with. She was jumped. There's a difference between playing tough and playing dirty, and this wasn't even in the same zip code as tough. But let's not forget the MVPs of this disaster, the same corporate sponsors who were lining up to throw money at Caitlin's rising star like she was the human version of Bitcoin. Now they're dialing back those ad budgets, faster than a toddler backing away from a broccoli buffet. Suddenly, that flashy Caitlin Clark ex-WNBA merch collab is collecting dust, and execs are whispering in boardrooms, maybe let's hold off on those billboards until the concussions stop. Meanwhile, the haters who wanted to humble her are probably chest-bumping in locker rooms like they just ended a dynasty. Spoiler alert, You didn't. You just showed the world that your best strategy wasn't better shooting, passing, or defense. It was cheap shots and an enabler ref squad who probably think a foul is just a fashion critique. And speaking of refs, someone should check if they were actually holograms, because that might explain why they kept glitching out every time Clark hit the floor. It's either that, or they're just legally blind and moonlighting as NBA 2K referees between WNBA games. Their officiating was so bad it's honestly impressive. It takes real talent to miss everything while standing 2 feet from the action.
Should be sitting her ass on the sideline. She should be in a training room, getting rehab, getting therapy all day long. She should not even touch a basketball. I stand on that.
Many WNBA players lately have been calling out the refs, including Natasha Cloud here.
Every single night, we're having to fight every single night because we're bringing the best product that we can on the floor and we're not being rewarded for it. To only shoot 4 free throws during a game is insane. For their starters to have no fouls except for Phoebish is insane in a 40-minute game. So whatever happens, happens, but it needs to be addressed. And this isn't the first time we're talking about it. And we're not the first team to talk about it. We're not the first players to talk about it. And at some point, the W has to be serious about this.
With all these new eyeballs on the WNBA, I do agree with Natasha here is that the refs have got to get better because most games, they're horrific.
What's next? Caitlin gets a full body cast and the league issues a statement about player resilience? Or maybe they'll start giving players bonus points for successful takedowns. 2 points for the basket, 3 for the headlock. Welcome to the new WNBA scoring system, brought to you by unchecked resentment and a leadership vacuum so deep it could suck in a black hole. And yet, somehow the league is still pretending this is fine. Like nothing is on fire. Like Caitlin Clark isn't limping out the back door while the stadium DJ plays Eye of the Tiger over a highlight reel of fouls no one called.